What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. We've got a lot to talk about here with Bitcoin. We have some positive news and some negative news. We have some spot Bitcoin ETF news, some Stripe news, and some Strike news. And we have a lot to look over, so let's get started right up. And first off is Fidelity's FBTC, seeing outflows for the first time now. On Thursday, we did see a $23 million outflow, which is their first daily net outflow. We also saw ARK Invest, Bitwise, and Valkyrie's ETFs seeing outflows, as well as Grayscale's GBTC, of course, with 130 million of outflows. While obviously this is a negative, look at how far it has come. Look at Fidelity's FBTC. Up until this point, they have seen net inflows. On the long term, this doesn't worry me one bit. On the short term, we may continue to see outflows. We may continue to see Bitcoin being pushed down. I think what's going to be really important next week is seeing what BlackRock's IBIT does. Do we see outflows from them for the first time? We did recently just see zero inflows. And I want to mention this statement from Hong Song Ook, an analyst at NH Investment and Securities. He said there's no follow-up events that focus attention on Bitcoin in the near term. The halving's already happened. And while that may be the case, this is definitely the time to be in Bitcoin. When you look at all the past halvings, you don't want to sell right after the halving. That would be a very big mistake. Maybe this time things play out differently and we do see a pretty sizable pullback right after the halving here. But the reality is, that would be a great chance to buy. It isn't always time to be bullish on Bitcoin, but I do believe based on the halvings, based on the 4-year cycle, now is still the time to be a buyer. Now is still a time to take advantage of any short-term fear. We also have a new record broken. This time it's a negative record by GBTC. While BlackRock's IBIT saw 71 consecutive days of inflow, putting it in the top 10 in ETFs in this record, Grayscale's GBTC has seen 72 consecutive days of outflows. And as said by Eric Balchunas, no ETF has ever done close to that. But let me show you, they had over 600,000 Bitcoin. They're now nearly under 300,000 Bitcoin left. In this 72 days of outflows, they basically cut their fund in half. At the rate they're going, we have literally a little over 2 months and their fund goes down to zero. Do I think they're going to go down to zero? No. I do believe there will be a point where GBTC finds support, although right now it seems like there's no end in sight with the selling. I do think it's a matter of time until they either lower their fees or until all the people planning on selling GBTC finally sell, finally get out, and we eventually have a wave of buyers. But like I said, what'll be really important is seeing what BlackRock's IBIT does. What did they do today? We'll find out later. And how do things go next week? Do they get back to seeing inflows? Do we start seeing outflows for the first time from IBIT? That would definitely put some fear in the market. BlackRock's IBIT is now 25,000 Bitcoin away, roughly, give or take, from passing Grayscale. They're now roughly 1.6 billion away from each other. And I'll show you on their actual funds sites that Grayscale's GBTC now is holding $19.442 billion. And BlackRock's IBIT holds $17.738 billion. As long as we don't see massive outflows from BlackRock's IBIT, I do think GBTC and IBIT will flip, and this will be relatively soon, within weeks. And at some point next week, we will probably see them being under 1.5 billion from each other, maybe even 1 billion. The big thing to do, we'll be seeing next week how BlackRock's IBIT does. If we see outflows, I do expect Bitcoin to tank, at least for the short term. Now, we also have some news from both Strike and Stripe. I think this Strike news is a little bit bigger. Bitcoin Lightning app Strike expands to Europe with global transfers. Bitcoin payment app Strike launches its launch in Europe, bringing Bitcoin buying, selling, and transfers to millions. And that's right, European customers can now buy, sell, send, withdraw Bitcoin using the app, deposit funds from their bank account using free unlimited SEPA Euro deposits, with the option for instant transfers where supported. Customers withdrawing their Bitcoin to self-custody can send it to any Bitcoin or Lightning wallet instantly and without limits. Additionally, users can access features such as recurring purchases, also peer-to-peer transfers powered by the Lightning Network with USD and USDT remittances. We also have some news coming from Stripe, and they're expecting to enable USDC payments starting in the summer. Crypto is back, said Stripe's co-founder John Collison. Stripe will start supporting global stablecoin payments this summer. Transactions instantly settle on chain and automatically convert to fiat. Here's something interesting. They stopped their last program back in 2018. If you think about the timeline of that would have been in the beginning of crypto winter in the last cycle. And they did cite that Bitcoin's volatility made the token more suitable as an asset rather than a means of exchange. However, they're opening this back up. Maybe we'll see them close it down again in this upcoming crypto winter sometime in 2026 or so. And check this out. This is pretty interesting. Stripe has surpassed $1 trillion in payment volume, and this was back in 2023. By comparison, PayPal surpassed that $1 trillion in total payment volume in 2021, which is 23 years after PayPal was founded. Stripe was founded a little over 15 years ago. You know, Stripe is a $65 billion company, according to their last tender offer. Now, I want to show you guys Cleanspark. I think all the miners are a buy right now. Now is the time to be buying the Bitcoin miners. And Cleanspark was looking at head and shoulders here. I'm looking at the hourly. You can see the head, the two shoulders. We're now down towards that neckline. What I'm watching for now is for us to hold our previous low, this 1830 area. If we break this, I do think we're heading into the mid 17s, as I mentioned on my Discord. I want to show you that Cleanspark has been posting a lot of RSI divergences lately. We saw higher lows on the RSI here, but lower lows on the price, and the market caught that and it did push it up, and we did break out of our descending trend. While we were hitting higher highs here on Cleanspark's chart, we were seeing lower highs on the RSI here. This was a sign that the bears were taking over. I do think if we can't break out of our descending resistance, we're going to kind of just follow this downtrend channel. You can see it on the daily here as well. I do think we're going to just follow this downtrend channel. We are probably going to test the mid 17s before earnings. As we get closer to earnings, we might see a little bit of a hype before the earnings. They're expecting a record revenue. They are expecting a profitable quarter. They saw a profitable quarter last earnings as well. What's going to be really important to listen to is the earnings call. What's forward guidance looking like? I do think for a little longer we're going to follow this downtrend. We're going to follow this descending channel. Maybe when we get closer to earnings, we will see a little bit of hype leading up to it. But in my opinion, you know, these miners are going to post really good earnings. We have a lot of miners expecting profitable quarter. We have many expecting record revenue. And the reality is many of these miners are still bullish. Many of these miners are above their 200 MA, are above their 50 MA. They are pointing up. They're in the correct order, indicating that the longer term trend will continue. And my opinion is you have to welcome any of these pullbacks. If you're really bullish on these Bitcoin miners, if you believe in the space, if you have high conviction and you believe these miners are going to have a good 2024 and 2025, you need to be taking advantage of any pullbacks. The reality is we're up pretty nicely over the last couple of days. We're up over 30% since mid-April. We are still up nearly 10x from our crypto bear market lows. Despite still being up 10 times from our lows, I do think there's still a lot of potential for Cleanspark. And call me crazy, but I do think by the end of this cycle peak, by mid 2025 or so, whenever Bitcoin tops out, I do think Cleanspark has potential to see triple digits. We do need to see consistent profitability, in my opinion, if that's going to happen. Am I going to wait? Am I going to hold out for $100 for Cleanspark? Probably not. My plan is to sell throughout 2025 regardless of the price. Whether Cleanspark's $50, $100, $150, my plan is to follow the halving cycle while also taking account of the chart. Are we extremely overbought on the weekly and the monthly? Have we been running with no end in sight? These are the things you have to look out for. You know, is there max euphoria? I'll tell you one thing, there is definitely not max euphoria right now. We have not been anywhere close to max euphoria yet this cycle. I do think once we see consistent profitability, this could be the second quarter in a row of consistent profitability for Cleanspark. If we can continue seeing profitability, there's no reason these miners can't rally. But thanks as always for watching, guys. Let me know how you're feeling about the Bitcoin miners. How are you feeling about Bitcoin? We might be in for some rough days ahead if we see BlackRock's IBIT posting outflows. So keep an eye out for that. I will let my Discord know once I see it. It'll be a crisis averted if we don't see outflows for BlackRock. I think there's possibility we do see outflows next week, and that could spook Bitcoin even more. But in hindsight, looking back from 2025, from late 2024, these will be buying opportunities. You can bet your bottom dollar on it. And thanks as always for watching, guys. I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.